All right, we're live. Welcome, everyone. Surprise, we have a back to back interview. With a different person. And in this particular interview, we have a person named Nicole. Um, can you tell us about yourself, Nicole? Like, first, what age you are, where you're located, and how did it all start for you?
I'm 37. I'm in Tennessee. I'm outside of 20 minutes outside of Nashville. Um, and this all started probably when I was younger, but like no one ever said anything. And about 2000, I started working at a warehouse in 2012, and I don't know, it was normal. Like we didn't have where I worked at, we couldn't have our cell phones, so I don't know. I'm jumping ahead, but yeah, we couldn't have our phones. So like if anyone were to say anything about me, then I wouldn't have really known. So
Mm-hmm.
like I would talk to a lot of people there and like no one said anything. I would talk to a lot of people, I got along with pretty much everyone. And then one day, this one guy, he was like, "You know what? You're pretty cool. No matter what anyone says about you." So I asked him, I'm like, "Well, what do they say?" And he was like, "Oh no, I'm just messing with you." So stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, time goes on or whatever, and then people will come around me and they'd be like, "It stinks over here." Make comments like that. And just like all the things that you guys have heard before. Uh
So, the first
go
time you
ahead.
heard a remark about you smelling bad was somewhere
Mhm.
within 2012.
Yeah, it was around there. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
estimating, I guess. But yeah, it was pretty much around that time. It was between 2012 and 2016 cuz that's how long I was at that job
Okay.
when I
All
actually
right.
heard people say things.
And w- when people said, "Oh, it smells around here" or "it stinks around
Mhm.
here," naturally you just didn't take any mind to it because, like, okay, I don't smell anything, right?
Right, because people would be staring at me, and I'm like, what are they staring at? Or because you don't think that someone's just staring at you, and
Right.
then if you do notice, you're like, oh well, I'm just being paranoid. But then I remember one day I went to the bathroom because it's a warehouse or whatever. So I went to the bathroom, and I don't know, I'm weird in a way. Like I'm a creature of habit, so I kind of do weird things. So I'm walking to the bathroom and I always paid attention to this one pallet that's sitting outside the bathroom. It was wrapped in plastic and it's kind of dusty or whatever. So I'm always looking at that when I was going in the bathroom. I come out of the bathroom and someone wrote on the pallet, "You stink." Like they followed me to the bathroom to write that on there.
Wow.
So I mean, I didn't see them, of course, when I came out. But then
Mm,
so yeah, I saw that and I couldn't say anything. I didn't, like I said, I didn't see who did it. So I just going about my day. And like I said, it's a warehouse. So you work with so many people and you see so many people a day. And I'm just hearing all day, well, this girl, she never wears deodorant, stuff like that. And I'm like, hold on now. I know I take a shower, I wear deodorant, I do, all whatever I'm supposed to do. Like I'm wearing like perfume and stuff like that. So I know that, well, I don't know then, but I'm assuming that it's not me.
right.
And yeah, so
Yeah. So wow. So sometime between the years 2012 and 2016, you're working at this
mhm,
warehouse.
mhm,
But then you start hearing people make mention whenever they're around you, oh, something stinks or it smells bad around here. At one
mhm,
point, when you went to a bathroom, you came back, you noticed somebody wrote you stink. And then, even as time progresses, you see more and more people sort of direct these comments about somebody smelling to you
yes,
or trying to hint that is you.
mhm. And then one day we were working because I worked on inbound. So when trucks would come to the warehouse, we had to unload them and do all different, kind of stuff to the pallets. So we were working, and this guy he comes up to me. I have no idea who this guy was, but he comes up to me. He was like, "Were you born a guy?" And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "No." He said, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yes." And then
Hmm.
I later found out like he's asking me that because of my body odor, because someone said that I smell worse than a man, like when they sweat.
Mm.
Like I heard someone say that. And then another guy was like, "How does she not smell her arms? They're right." That like people were actually making these kind of comments like around me or to me. And
Right.
like this was the whole time I was working. Like when I told you I started working, like I said, in 2012, but I guess I really wasn't paying attention until like 2014 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So once I noticed, like it was like 2 years straight where I'm just hearing all of this, all these comments and all that. So that it gets stressful.
I wanted to ask you, within once you started noticing this stuff, like th- this work environment that you're in,
Hmm.
is it, are these people, is there like a rotation of people constantly coming in and coming out to the point that a lot of people, there'll always be new faces or people quitting, or were there always, is this like work environment like, I would say majority of the people that were there already knew you for a couple of years, worked around you, and maybe even befriended you? Like what type of situation was that job? Was it one of those types of jobs where lots of people, they have like, there's a short, how do I say it? How to explain, like
No, I understand. It was a mix of both. Like because some of those people I worked with them from day one, for the whole 4.5 years I was there. Um, and then some people, because I was full time, and then they would bring in employees, temporary employees. So there were the constant people, and then the people who they would cycle in and out. Like some people would work a week and then quit, or work a month or 2 months or 3 months, 6 months, whatever. So it was a constant change in people. So there were new people coming in all the time,
mm-hmm,
but then
mm-hmm.
there were still the people who had been there for years. And yeah.
So now my next question is, would you say that the new people, or the
Hmm.
people who are barely there, were the ones who are making the most comments, or no?
No, I felt like it was the people that I had worked with for some time. I mean, the new people, they probably maybe noticed, but I mean, I didn't see any really like I didn't see any reactions from them.
Hmm.
It was more of the people that I would see every day.
And I was like, when you got the job, you didn't
Hmm.
hear anything like that. You didn't hear any type of comments or anything like that. I'm pretty well. I'm assuming that you at least connected with some people
Yeah, I did. I
before.
met I met some friends there, and I still talk to one of them today.
Okay. But have you actually, when that started to happen, when you started hearing comments, did you hear your friends say stuff like this? Or the people
No,
that you hung out with or maybe ate lunch with say anything directed
no,
about you?
no, I didn't. But I do remember, like after I did start hearing stuff, I do remember this one girl that I would talk to. I remember her making a comment saying that another girl that we would talk to at work, she was like, "Oh, well, when I first met Jasmine, I thought she was one of those all natural girls because she never wears deodorant." She was like, "But don't tell her I said that." But she wasn't talking about Jasmine, she was talking about me. So
Mm,
I mean, it was that type of thing.
interesting. And I'm guessing once you started realizing, okay, all these comments are directed toward me, even though it's not,
Hmm.
it's indirect. Did you, as the first thing I did when I started realizing, hey, maybe these people are just not being assholes, I might actually do smell. I immediately asked my mother, family members, like, what was your first reaction when you finally realized, okay, I don't think these people are just saying this to try to, I don't know, harass or bully me or make me feel like shit. Like I
Hmm.
might actually have this odor, but even though I can't explain it, I might have this something going on with me.
Yeah, the first thing I did, I I was asking my mom, my brothers, I was like, "Hey, do I smell?" And they were like, "No. Why would you think that?" And then I was like, y'all are lying. Like I was getting mad. And I'm like, y'all are lying. Just tell me the truth. And they're like, it's in your head or whatever. You don't smell. We would have told you. And then so I'm like, so you telling me like y'all don't smell nothing, but everybody at work say I stink. I was like that. Just it was I don't know, because I really thought they were lying to me.
Yeah.
But to this day, my mom and my brother like they have not said anything. Cause like I
Yeah.
said, I asked them a million times.
Yeah. And that's the thing about it within the early stages where at least well, I didn't ask you this. Can you smell yourself?
Yeah, I can. Before I couldn't, and sometimes I can't, but sometimes I can.
And you said that the smell that comes off you is just a sweaty odor.
Yeah, this. I remember this one girl said that I smell like. I heard I heard her tell someone. What did she say? Oh, she smells like dirty basketball shorts. Like she said something like
Mm.
that. And then another.
Okay.
I remember one day this girl got so mad. Um, like I said, I worked in the warehouse for the first 4 years or whatever, and there they had these big fans, and the fan was on, and I didn't turn the fan on. I was just working over there in the area, and then she was like, "It's 50 degrees outside," and she's over here sweating, and then she walks over there and angrily like unplugs the fan, and then walks away.
The fuck?
Like, yeah, so I mean, like if I don't know what I smell like to other people, but to they say I smell like sweat, or they're always like, well, how's she still alive? Because they say that I don't drink enough water. Like that's all I do all day. Like,
How is she still alive? What type
yeah,
of question is
like
that?
I'm supposed to be dehydrated because I don't drink water or something. And I'm like, I literally like I don't eat all day. I drink water because like I don't know, because I don't know if I eat something, it's gonna make me smell worse. So even now, I work 10 hours a day. I don't eat all day while I'm
What?
at work, huh?
What do you mean you don't work? You don't eat all day?
Like I don't. Yeah, I guess it's more of an intermittent fasting, but like I don't eat at work at all. I drink water. That's it. And plus, if I eat like and try to work, like I get lazy.
Let me. Well, okay. Well, I wanted to ask you something. I know we were talking about something, and I wanted to ask you something. When we had to do with if you can detect your odor. Oh, I think I was saying. I think I was going to ask you like, no, I was going to make this statement. I was going to say in the earlier stages, first you don't really understand what's going on, so naturally you talk to your parents or family
Hmm.
members, whatever,
Right.
and they'll deny it. So then you feel confused about it, and at least for me, I felt like I was going crazy, like I had like schizophrenia or some shit. Um,
Right. Me
so
too.
go ahead.
No, no, no. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, and but then like at a certain point, you're like, maybe if even if there might be a possible chance that's in my head, let me just at least, I don't know, take put on more not perfume, but put on some more fragrance.
Hmm.
Make sure I take a bath a little bit more. Make sure I put more layers of deodorant or something like that. What was the, at least that was for me. Um, so once you start hearing this, and then your parent, your family said, "Oh no, you smell fine," even though you feel like they're lying to you. Like, what was your next step after that?
My next step, I probably went on Google. Um, and just figured like I was just looking up stuff like body odor, what, and I came across this one lady, and she was like the same thing was happening to her, but it was around the time she had gotten pregnant, and like I told you, I do have two kids. So
Hmm.
I was like, oh well, maybe that's something that happened to me too. Because like when you're pregnant, and you have a whole another human inside of you, so your body doesn't function the same as it did. And she said that she was dealing with like constipation, so she wasn't going to the bathroom regularly. And she was like, oh well, that's when I noticed, the odor, because she said that she smelled like onion. And that's
Mm.
pretty much, that's like associated with like body odor too, right? So then I started going down that rabbit hole. So I'm like, okay, if there's an onion scent, then what does that mean? And then when I looked that up, it said, oh well, it means you have like bacteria on the skin that wasn't cleaned off properly or something like that. So here I am, I'm taking 3 showers a day. Like I was taking 3 showers a day, and people were still complaining. So I was like, I don't know what else to do, you know. And like I go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, since you were just telling this story, I'm interested to know, like, during the times where you started hearing the comments, were
Hmm.
you already pregnant or did you already deliver a kid at that time?
Yeah, I had already had my son, and he was about like 3 or 4 years old. No, he was about 2 or 3 years old then.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, I get it. There it could be like a hormonal thing. And then I remember you saying that you started having um your odor like in middle school. So it kind of makes sense because um our bodies are going through hormonal changes then.
Hmm.
So I mean, maybe that's something that goes hand in hand. I don't know. But yeah, because going back to the pregnancy part, like she said she was dealing with constipation. So what she started doing was just like juicing. She, started juicing fruits and vegetables and all that, and just cleaning up her diet. And then she said that once she was able to, oh, and she took some sort of like laxative tea. She would do that like every day or every other day or however many times a week she would do that. So she was cleaning herself out, right? So then the waste was no longer just sitting in her body, and I guess the odor, wasn't trapped anymore. So she said that that's how she got rid of it. And I understood what she was, talking about and saying and stuff, but I was like, that's not going to work for me, right? So I didn't do anything. So I'm still going to work every day, hearing people, say whatever they're saying about me. And then I was like, I can't do this anymore. So that was December 2016. So what I did like a few months before that, I went to school, and my job paid for it.
Oh, you
So
dropped it.
yeah, so I went to school, and so guess what? I'm in class when I'm in my classes or whatever, and I was like, "Hey y'all, do I smell?" They were like, "No, we don't smell nothing," right? But this one girl in the class, she always will be like, "Does anybody love you?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She was like, "Don't nobody love her. Don't nobody love." And she would sit in the class with her shirt pulled over her nose,
Mm.
but she wouldn't directly, say anything. But then there was also another girl in front of me. She would be like, "It stinks in here. Can we open the door?" Stuff like that.
Mm.
And like, but I already sat there and asked everybody directly, the teacher included. I was
So
like,
you,
"Bruh,
so when
like,
you,
help me." Go
so
ahead.
when you, so within this class that you were
Hmm.
taking, you're saying like the first time you met everybody, you said it
Oh no, no, it wasn't
amongst
the
the whole
first time.
class, or did you have these private conversations with some students who are also taking the class?
And it wasn't private. We were just in the class sitting down. We were on break or whatever. We had like a lunch, and I was like, I just flat out asked, like, "Do I smell?" Because when I was taking those classes, I was still at work, right? So I'm taking a shower in the morning. I'm going to work, coming home from work, take a shower, then go to school, right? I'm take because it was like a night class. So, like I said, I'm taking
Oh,
three
it's a night
showers a
class.
day.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm like, I'm already getting made fun of at work. I don't care if these 7 people in this class make fun of me. I'm gonna flat out ask. Because I'm that type of person. Like, I just can't sit back and not do anything. I remember your video with Vertex. He was like, "Man, I'm not gonna try to figure out nothing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let everybody else figure that out. And if they find something that works, then cool." No, that's not me. Like, I'm trying to figure out what I can do so I can help everybody else.
Right.
We're all going through the same thing. But anyway, yeah. So I asked them in the class, and they said they didn't say anything at all, but except for that one girl, and then the other girl in front of me who would make comments. But the one girl that would cover her face, like she wasn't trying to hide anything. She was just trying to make me feel bad and trying to embarrass me and everything. But I mean, I was already embarrassed enough, being at work every day. So there was
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
else she could do. So I finished. Go ahead.
No, I wanted to say this. I mean, I know you're already going ahead and talking about other things that happened, but
Mhm.
when you were making mention of looking up something, some
Mhm.
information, and you found out about this woman who was pregnant, she had an onion smell. Um, yeah, this is not the first time I ever heard a woman getting pregnant and then having halitosis or then now developing some type of body odor. I think I heard it like a couple of times. Matter of fact, I do think I have like one I don't know the specific interview or the specific woman, but I feel like I had an interview with someone who was talking about when she got pregnant, that's when these like this issue started to happen. So yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it is hormonal. Maybe hormones does play some type of factor, some key into I don't know, disturbing, or maybe I don't know. Yeah, maybe your hormones play some key into disturbing something within your system that's
Mhm.
causing you to smell offensive. Um, but yeah, that is always interesting to hear when a woman says that she got pregnant, or after pregnancy or during pregnancy, she developed halitosis or some shit or something like that.
Well,
Uh,
see, I guess I don't really think my breath was ever really an issue. It was just, that it was just my body. Like I don't know
right.
what it was going on with my body, but I also I'm learning now that I truly believe that it's all gut related. I mean, because if you're changing your clothes, you're washing your clothes properly. We're all washing our clothes properly. We're bathing every day. We're using deodorant. We're using, perfume or whatever. Like, and none of that's helping. It can't be anything that we're doing on the outside.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that could also be a theory. I mean, I've heard many different theories, and throughout the years of having this, I used to think it's got. I mean, I do think it got related to a degree, but at least my theory at this moment is something's not being broken down properly within our system,
Yeah,
which
but
is
I mean
causing
that
a
would go.
buildup.
I feel like that would go back to the liver. Would that not like go like back to the liver if things aren't breaking down properly?
Yeah, but your gut is your small intestine, large intestine.
Well, yeah,
Um,
I understand that, but as far as like, even if we
you,
cleanse our liver, we'd still have to cleanse like our other things, Like, if we cleanse our gut, we'd have to cleanse our liver, our kidneys. Like, it's not just a one-stop shop. You can't just be like, oh, well, I'm just gonna do this and then that's it. No, I feel like something somewhere along the line, it got messed up, but we don't know what, because it doesn't
exactly.
happen to everyone. So, I mean, what are we doing differently than what everyone else is doing?
I think there's just involuntary things that are happening within your body that you're not, obviously you're not in control of, and
I
maybe
think
something
that if
alters.
you can, I feel like if you can provide like a specific answer, then that's too easy. That's just how my mind works. Because I feel like I want to be the one who's doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing. Like you're going the route of like taking tests and doing all that kind of stuff. I don't want that. I want to be able to. I want to be able to. I guess I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to do it without. Yeah, I don't want to take tests. I don't want to have to. I'm gonna have to spend money, of course, but I don't want to do it on the tests. Like I'd rather, you know, be able to like cleanse. But I truly believe that if I'm cleansing my body, and it's like we're doing a body reset, then I feel like I can find a solution.
Yep. I mean, I will say this. Um, this is another a common approach that people do naturally, because especially if you have getting comments of smelling like shit or getting feces or whatever.
Hmm.
I've read plenty of different approaches, comments, stories from people who try to do some type of ultra cleanse, try to look and see if there is any type of liver cleansing, try to see if there's if parasites might be the culprit and do parasitic cleanse, kidney
Yeah, we
cleanse,
need to do all
any
that.
master cleanse. There was a big trend of a master cleanse back in the early 2010s, and it was like this weird concoction that had to do with, I don't know, like hot sauce, lemon, and whatever the case. There
Yeah,
was
I
lots
remember.
of different treatments, methods that people tried over the years, and some people did get some type of relief. Some people did have some success once they avoid. But I mean, my theory behind it is they had success because they avoided certain things that would exacerbate their odor. I don't know. Maybe it was food. Maybe it was some other things. Usually, it falls in line with food. Um, and again, I'm definitely not a doctor or medical specialist. I don't know exactly what's happening. If I did, I would be in a better position in my life. But yeah, I mean, if you want to go with their approach of trying to do this systematic cleanse of your digestive system, maybe I think you might find some success. At least I've read
Yeah, I
stories.
want I want to keep you updated. Like I said, I sent you that message, and I want to do it. I want to do that so that way, I can once I do, I can tell you, hey, I'm doing this and it's working, or I'm doing this and it's working, because I know how it feels, walking around life every single day like this. So if I can find a solution, I'm trying to tell all the people I can, um, because like where I work at now, I'm back at a warehouse, and it's so bad there because like at the previous warehouse, like no one had cell phones. We weren't allowed to have our phones inside, and then now everyone has cell phones, and people have been like recording me, like taking my picture, stuff like that. And oh yeah, and we had a it was like 2 years ago, they had a Christmas thing, right? And the girl in my department, she was like a lead or whatever. She brings everyone candy. She didn't bring me candy. She brought me body spray.
Oh shit, that's fucked up.
Yeah. So I mean, like it's insane. So that's why I'm just trying to find a
Mhm.
solution, because I would not want anyone else to like ever go through this.
Isn't that like some form of harassment? Can't you like
Yeah.
go to
Oh,
HR about that?
that's another thing. That's another thing too. Like, okay, like I was so fed up. I'm telling you, like if it my mind state was, it was crazy, because from going from the worst first warehouse, it was all right. Okay, yeah, they made fun of me, but no, nothing came of it. But like coming to this warehouse, like everyone has cell phones now. You're allowed to carry your cell phone there, and I've seen people, recording me, and so over the 5 years that I was there, like I got fed up, and I went to HR. They didn't do anything. I went to EEOC. I tried to report my job to, I'm like, I'm getting harassed every single day. People are coming up, smelling my armpits. All this kind of stuff, and they did nothing. They were like, well, we can't really prove that they were doing this, and or what. And I feel like my mind, the way my mindset was, like if I had a gun, I really would have like shot the place up. That's how bad it
Mm.
was, because I was just so angry. But I mean, thankfully, I did make it. I did pull through, and it. I know people, they're not religious or anything, but that's what calmed me down, was reading the Bible. Like I really didn't have another choice. It's either that or either kill myself, or you know and I didn't want to die, because for what? If I died, they win, right? So,
Right. That was actually a certain mentality I had when I was
mhm,
like I was in college. Because I was suicidal as well, and I thought I actually had the opportunity to seek a therapist in college. I think it was free for a couple of sessions, and
mhm,
it said the same thing. It said like, "Hey, I want to kill myself, but if I kill myself, then they win or some shit like that." So I
right.
know where you come. I know where you're coming from with that. Also, it reminds me. It reminds me of this story, but maybe it's not similar to yours. I know I heard about it. Maybe it was on some type of forum that's related to body odor. But someone, I think there was like a company or some business tried to fire someone because of some type of odor. Yeah, I think he
Mhm.
had some type of offensive odor. He or she, I don't know. In any case, they try to fire him or her, but the guy that they did fire them, but he or she filed some type of lawsuit, and I think they won a lot of money because of it. So I don't know if there's some type of situation where I don't know if you could like prove beyond a shadow of doubt that people are harassing you at work and HR ain't doing anything. Maybe you could file a lawsuit, win
You
a
know, I
bunch of
should have.
money, and then you know what I mean? Shit. Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
was like, at first, I didn't care. Like, even right now, I work 10-hour shifts, 4 days a week, and I don't talk to anybody. No one talks to me. Like, and like I said before, when I would hear people say stuff or like someone was staring at me, I'm like, what are you staring at? Like, I was vocal. I didn't care because at this point, I was like, I'm mad. If I smell, tell me that. Like, why are you talking about me to other people? Other people can't fix it. That's the kind of mentality I had. I don't care. I was ready to box everybody.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, but I mean, it was just like it was so crazy, and I'm just so glad I got through it. But I see a comment on here, and it says that they worked at Amazon. Yeah, that was the first warehouse that I worked at, and it was bad. And someone also said that people will stare and cough. Yeah, they still do that every day. Even yesterday when I was leaving work. And then the bad thing is like I can speak a little Spanish, right? So then I hear getting talked about in two languages. So
yeah,
that's even worse.
yeah. And maybe this is going into a completely different topic here. I heard the conditions at Amazon
Do
is
you
very
work with me,
bad.
Shamir? Because people do that. They drink water. They'll be staring at me. They'll drink water. And this one guy, he did that. He came by my aisle because like where I work at now, I have to pick items, right? I'm sorry I cut you off, but I just saw the comment and I wanted to
Go
respond.
ahead.
But yeah, so I'll be working in my aisle, and then someone will come and stand outside my aisle, look at me, and start drinking their water. Like I'm thirsty. Like, bruh, I drink water all day. I'm trying to tell y'all, like, it's not because I don't smell like this because I'm not drinking water. That's not the issue. That's another thing too. Like it's I don't know how all these other people smell, but like when they're talking about the sweaty smell or whatever, like it's your gut. I truly believe that because like I said, I drink water all day and I'm not dehydrated. But
Hmm.
that's what people do. And then this one girl, she walking by my aisle saying, "Stanky booty little girl," like stuff like that. That makes you want to fight. I don't care, like
Yeah.
who you are. You could be the calmest person in the world, but when someone is harassing you like that, and then you try to, say something, and no one does anything about it, like
Hmm.
that makes you feel so small.
Yeah. Because and another thing is like once you get comments like that from almost everybody, it's sort of like it's you against the world. And so if someone's mistreating you, they're not going to, and you want, I don't, if you want some type of justice or some shit like people are going to try to stick up for the other person that's like talking down on you or disrespecting you.
Mhm.
Um, Sort of remind me of like when I was like a security at this like, I don't know, it's pretty much was a theater. Yeah,
Mhm.
people were talking shit all the fucking time. Um, and ultimately, as a security officer, they would like put me all the way out somewhere else, where because if there's like some type of show that happened, they're gonna put me somewhere else if they can, and if they couldn't, they would complain about me, and they would pretty much try to get me fired. So I was gonna ask you if that ever happened to you, like if it was a situation where you overheard people trying to conspire to get you fired or something like that.
Um, I mean, one time I did hear someone say, "Well, like, uh, someone needs to report her." To report me to HR or whatever. And I wanted to say so bad, you do it. Like report me. Like what can they do? Well, that's one thing about me. When I go to work, I work. So it's not like they could fire me. I mean, I know I live in Tennessee, so you can fire. employees for no reason. You don't have to give a reason, right? They could do that, but they won't because I work. I'm a good worker. Like, but when all this was going on, when I learned that everyone was talking about me and all that, you don't even know how fast I was walking out that door. I was leaving like at least once or twice a week, and at one point I was working 3 days, and then
Mm.
like sometimes I would put in my time and I wouldn't even go to work. Like that's how bad it was. I was working
Mm.
3 12-hour shifts.
Wow.
So for 12 hours a day, you hearing people talk about you, like that's so much, that's so heavy on your mind for real. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
like
And if you
I
don't
don't know.
really have anyone to, if you don't really have a place to distress or be able to talk to somebody about, you're going to hold all those comments inside, and that's going to affect you on a mental level.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it did because like I said, my son, he's 13 now, but when I was first going through this, he was like, "You're no fun anymore," because I didn't want to go anywhere.
right. I also I wanted to ask this. So since you have like a son and stuff, you did have previous relationships,
Yes,
and within those relationships, did they ever comment about your odor?
my oldest son's dad, yes, like he would be like, um, remember, he was like, "You smell like a
Well, I was talking about
prostitute,"
like I don't
remember?
know your boyfriend's husbands or stuff like that,
Yeah, I don't have
partners.
a husband, but my oldest son's dad, he said that I smell like a prostitute.
Your oldest son said like you smell like a
No,
prostitute.
his dad said
Oh,
that.
oh, interesting. Yeah, 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 yeah. You told me about this. And he was talking to one of his cousins or something.
No, that was an one of my friends. You remember I told you I went to the night class, and
Yeah.
I met a girl in the class, and we became friends or whatever. Like she didn't say anything about my odor or anything, and so we were hanging out for like 2 or 3 years. And I went to her house, because her daughter was having a birthday party, and yeah, I didn't tell you this, but so there we were at the birthday party, and I walked into the kitchen, and when you're in the kitchen, they can't. Whoever was in the living room, they couldn't see me. They heard the door and they thought I went outside. And her brother was like, "I know she didn't come in here smelling like a stripper." And
Yeah.
then like I don't. It wasn't the same day. It was a different time that I was over there at my friend's house, and her son. She had a son or has a son, and he just comes in the kitchen and he stands there and he looks at me. He didn't say anything, but then he was just like, "You stink."
Mm,
And first of all, kids are honest.
right.
So if he said it, I believed it. So and I was like, well, I mean, all he did was just confirm what everyone else was saying.
Hmm.
So I
But
mean,
your friend that you were hanging out with seemed like she wasn't bothered or she didn't
yeah,
smell anything.
she always wanted to hang out with me. But like when you have this condition, like who wants to go anywhere? And then so I mean, I had other friends, even to this day, like I don't hang out with them at all.
Mm,
But except for the one friend that I met, when I worked in the first warehouse, I still talk to her because we're starting a business or whatever. But other than that, like I don't hang out with anybody.
right. Mm. And I guess I want to sort of go back to your time within night school. What were you
Mhm.
pursuing at the time?
Medical billing and coding.
Mm. Were you able to? I don't know if it's just like a certification, or
Yeah, it was a certification.
were you able to achieve it, or did you just like
No, I honestly, I only did the class. I mean, looking at it now, I should have, stuck with it. That way I could work from home. But I only did that so that I could take the buyout at Amazon. Because, they pay for the class, right? And then once you pass or whatever, at the beginning of the year, you could take the buyout. And that's what I did. So I took my 5,000 and ran. And I didn't
mm,
work for like, I just lived on that money. So I didn't have to work because I did not want to go back to work at all.
right,
And because
right.
of what I was going through or whatever. But then I finally went back. I did go back February 2017, and I went to where I'm at now.
What are you? Where are you currently working, or what type?
I work at Under Armour.
Oh, interesting. Under Armour. Wow.
Hmm.
Hmm. So, I you said your previous relationship or
Hmm.
who fathered or who's like the son of your 13-year-old
Hmm.
said you smell like a prostitute. What
But I
about
think
the
he's just correlating like the sweat smell as to someone who's been like run through. I don't know, but
what about I know you said you had a 10-month-old. What
yes.
about him?
He did not. So he doesn't smell anything to this day. He doesn't. He'll say, "Oh, well, we're not together," but like he'll be like, "Oh, well, I never smell anything." Well, what? Because when I first met him, I met him at work, and he was
Right.
like, trying to talk to me or whatever, and I'm like, "Look, no one here talks to me. Like, you don't have to talk to me. You don't have to feel bad for me. Nothing, nothing." I was just straight up with him, and I was like, they say this and they say that, and he was like, "Well, I don't smell anything." And then so yeah, eventually we
So,
had a kid.
when you had these conversations with him, have you has he ever confirmed that he overheard people say stuff about you?
No, because if he, like if he heard anyone say anything, I feel like he wouldn't have told me, but also they wouldn't have said anything around him because they knew that he would tell me.
Hmm. And is he still working in the same like Under Armour as well?
Oh no, he doesn't work there anymore. But but we also work at another job together, and
Okay,
no
so
one
you
said
got
any.
like his. Uh,
No, go ahead. Because like I told you, like I don't know. I like to work, so and I don't like to, be without money. So I usually, not usually, but a lot of the times I had two jobs. So I was working at at the first warehouse was Amazon, and I was working at Cracker Barrel as a dishwasher, and they were tearing me up at Cracker Barrel too, like saying that someone called me Pepe Le Pew,
wow.
the little cartoon character.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean they were it was crazy. So I would leave one job and then have to go put up with, nonsense at another job.
I wanted to ask you this before the lead up to maybe I already asked you this, but before the lead up to these like comments or your experience, your first experiences where you felt like people were mentioning your odor, was there anything weird that was happening to your body? I don't know. Maybe you had more gas. Maybe you had, I don't know, a stomach flu. Maybe you had food poisoning. Maybe you woke up, I don't know, you woke up with like night sweats or something. Was there any like physical thing that you can remember was happening in the early stages where you started hearing people make mention of your odor?
I mean, I've always dealt with um like constipation and stuff like that, but I mean, that's the only thing I can really think of.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, because I played sports, I played soccer, right? So I felt like I was usually, in pretty good shape, um, not overweight and anything like that. So it didn't really make sense to me as,
Hmm.
like why I would have like any sort of odor anyway. Like, I don't know. It was just weird. Like nothing added up.
Right.
I can
Soccer.
understand. Go ahead.
So when you said you play soccer, do you like when's the last time you stopped,
Oh,
or
I
when?
stopped. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you like what was the recent time you ever played soccer?
Oh no, it's been a while. I haven't played soccer since like 2000, 2004. And I think, oh, another thing I did forget. There was something going on. My senior year of high school, like I got real bad anxiety. I don't know what it was. Um, yeah, like I didn't go to my high school graduation. I was supposed to go try out at a soccer, for at a college to play soccer. I didn't go.
Hmm.
Uh, a college in a different town wanted me to come play. I didn't go. Like it was just like my anxiety. I don't know. I'm not sure why, but now looking back at it now, it had to have been gut related, because I learned that if your gut is messed up, then it affects your mind, right? So if you cleanse your
Yeah.
gut, then your thought patterns are better. And it makes me think too, like everyone is always going through anxiety these days. And it's all, look at how we eat, like look at our diet. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing I have noticed, you asked me like a few weeks ago, was there anything that I'm doing that has made a difference? Like with diet or anything like that. And I said no, but yesterday I started drinking kombucha, and I feel like today I haven't. I feel like my odor isn't strong because I did Instacart this morning, and so I have to go in the grocery store, right? And I didn't feel that there were a lot of reactions to me.
Well, well, if that's the case, I think you should also try to do kefir and kombucha, homemade kombucha. Like in 2019, a couple of years ago, well, Josh still has his channel, which is
Yeah,
called the Gut War.
I think that may have been the person I saw. I'm not no the guy I saw. He had some like an accent, like maybe he was Italian or something.
No,
I'm
that's
not sure.
Salvador.
Oh,
Salvador,
okay,
who's
yeah,
from Spain, and he was
okay, yeah,
talking.
same.
Salvador was advocating for kombucha.
Mhm.
Josh was advocating for kefir, which is like
Okay.
this milk-based probiotic. So if you feel that like probiotics or food-based probiotics are helpful, I would definitely go down that
Yeah,
path to try
yeah.
to
I
drink.
bought kimchi too. I don't know if you've ever eaten that.
I yeah, I have tried kimchi.
You don't
Yes.
like it?
Well, no, it tastes fine. I tried it from an actual Korean store, and it
Mhm.
tasted awful. Made a
Oh.
video about it, but um, oh, what was I gonna say? Yeah, there's been a number of people who said that drinking kefir or or milk-based probiotic or fermented milk um, helped them. There's a number of people who say that drinking kombucha helped them, and there was like back in 2019 to 20, there was a big trend of people within this body odor community or whatever you want to call it, who were making their own homemade uh, kefir and kombucha. So if you're saying that just store bought kombucha is good, if you make your own, you can
Mhm.
actually ferment it at a longer periods of time, and within that, it will develop more friendly bacteria that might help you. So maybe you should take a look. Yeah, you should take a look into Salvador's videos because I know he at least he made some videos about making your own
Yeah,
homemade kombucha.
yeah. I saw
Um,
I saw. I don't know how many interviews he did with you, but I did see one that he did with you. And
yeah, yeah, it
yeah,
was
and
only two. For
oh, okay.
matter of fact, I don't think too many people know about this. Like they made a Discord called the Gut War Discord. Maybe you should look into that. If I can, I think I'm still on it. I have to like open it up now and see if I can post it in a link. Post a link for to it. I think I'm going to send it to you over in WhatsApp, so maybe you can be a part of that. And yeah, I think there's a lot of people who still feel that kefir or kombucha helps. Um,
Yeah. It's because, generating the like I guess regenerating. Is that how you say it? Or replenishing? I don't know. Yeah, replenishing the good bacteria. I mean, that's really gonna help. So I'm definitely gonna do that, coupled with colonics. I didn't bring that up
mhm.
yet. Those are expensive, but I mean, I'm gonna do it because like I said, I want to take a different route than what everyone else is doing. Like everyone, tries to, find a deodorant or, find a different soap. Like I don't want to do that because I feel like those aren't going to, those are only band-aids to what's really going on.
Yeah, if anybody's actually who has this weird condition is only looking into trying deodorants and colognes and other hygienic things, I don't think they went that deep into it. I
No.
think that's like I do feel like everything comes in stages, and I feel like
Mhm.
in the early stage, that's your thing you're going to do. You're going to think, okay, well. The only thing I can think of that's related to reducing odor is deodorant or washing myself or putting cologne or perfume. So that's the thing they do. But once they realize, oh, that's not working, then they realize it's something internal that's happening. And
Hmm.
then that's when you go into different theories, whether it's related. Some people think it has to do with, again, parasites. Some people think it has to do with just the gut in itself. Some people think it has to do with some liver failure. Some people think it's TMAU, etc. Um, oh, Discord. Okay, cool. Let me see. Oh, now I got to switch. While I'm trying to look for that thing, um, so going back to the night school thing,
Hmm.
you said you tried to do it, and then I think the company got bought out that you were working
No,
for.
no, no. So I finished school. I graduated, and what was it? Uh, what happened after that? Okay, so yeah, I just took some time off. I didn't want to go back to work, but I eventually had to go back to work. So I did that. I ended up at Under Armour, and then so boom, I get to Under Armour. Things are even worse. So like I said, people were like taking pictures of me and video. I don't know if I'm on the internet or not, but I know for a fact that people were recording me. Because sometimes like some people would have like their flash on, when you have a video and the light is on the camera. Like that's
Hmm.
how I okay, I got it. So yeah, I would notice stuff like that, and I was like, they are not recording me. I'm tripping. But this one girl, we had like to do a little huddle thing in the morning, and I was usually one of the first ones there. So she set her phone on this shelf, and it was pointing directly at me, and then she just walks off like she was doing something else, and I'm like. Am I tripping? I know she did not just set her phone up there, pointed at me and recording me. So I'm just like, it didn't happen. I'm in denial. And so, stuff would happen and I would notice, the cameras out and whatever, whatever. So that's when I wanted to quit and I didn't. I just took time out. I took a leave of absence. And go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. What you're saying sort of reminds me of a time. This was actually during COVID. So before then, lots of stores were locked down, and then there was a certain period where they started opening stores up a little bit, but then they started implementing rules where only, I don't know, for certain stores only 10 people can be in the space
Mhm.
at a time. And I was working as a security guard, and so since there was, only 10 or X amount of people can come in at a specific time, I had to be like the one that stops people or waits till a couple of people come out and then tells people to come back. I don't know, one or two can come in.
Mhm.
And I was sweat since it was like a security guard job. I was outside, sun beaming, I'm sweating like crazy, and I'm getting tons of reactions. And in the same way that you're talking about, where people were like pull out their phone and shit like that. People were pulling out their phone and they're like damn near just staring at me directly at me,
Right.
you know. And I'm like, this is some bullshit because you're standing up for like, well, at least for me, I was standing up for 8 hours and shit, and just telling people that two can come in, two go out, or some shit like that, and
Mhm.
people were really mad. And I was over here like people go inside the store and talk to the cashier. This was actually I was patrolling Aldi's. I don't know if you ever heard of Aldi's, but
Yeah. I love that story actually.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, but I remember this one. I don't know. It was like a group of I don't know if it's a group of teenagers or 20 somethings, and this one girl was like, "Excuse me, this guy smells really bad out there." And I just want you to know that. Like she was reporting me to the fucking cashier. It's fucking stupid. But
Mhm.
yeah, I was having a bad time. So I definitely understand what you're going through. Probably yours is probably 10 times as worse because you're still in the you're still in the shit. You're still
Yeah.
um in these like areas where people can just say whatever they can, they what they want, and there's not going to be any type of negative consequence.
Mhm.
Um,
So I didn't
yeah.
mention this too. Um so with all this, like I took a couple trips or whatever. I went to I'm in Tennessee, so I went to Gatlinburg, and I went with a couple of friends, and I was in a store, and this guy, I don't know why he felt the need to be mad about it.
Oop. Uh-oh. Lost her. Lost her. Maybe she's gonna come back. I'll give her about like 6 minutes. If she does come back, I think this is a good opportunity to post any type of questions you have for her because it's nearing the hour. So yeah, she's coming back.
Can you hear me?
Hello. Yep. 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 Yep.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So I was in Gatlinburg, and the guy, he was in we were in some store or whatever, and the guy was like, "Why are you sweating?" Like, he made that comment, but like my friends, they didn't say anything, but they heard him. But at the same time, they didn't want to be like looking at me like, "Oh, well, she'll be embarrassed," or whatever, like some of that type of thing. But like they didn't say anything, but he did. So at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, if he said something, why didn't my friend? And to this day, I haven't hung out with them either.
The thing is, I mean, because I keep hearing this. A matter of fact, Junior, the last person I
Mm.
interviewed, was saying the same thing. There was plenty of experiences where he was
Maybe they
around
don't
people.
care. Maybe they just don't care.
I f- I feel like it's just a theory. I can't prove this, but I feel like there's some people. Yeah, maybe they don't care. Another percentage is just people don't have the ability to pick up certain chemicals that are coming out of some people. Like some people have better senses than others,
Mhm.
and so sometimes the scent is more stronger than others, or sometimes it's like very mild. That's what I really believe. I do believe, just like if you're talking about gut a lot, I do
Mhm.
recall hearing like some type of fact or some type of information about how like the makeup of our gut has about like 1 trillion different microbes.
Mhm.
Um, and our gut bacteria within my gut bacteria, my like body is always going to be completely different than everybody else's. Like it's never going to be the same percentage of strands of bacteria. It's so diverse that
Mhm.
every single individual will have a different type of microbiome that's made up of X number of bacteria. And in
Yeah.
the same way, I feel like that for many different things, including senses. Maybe there's always some people who just have or just born with stronger senses. They have the ability to pick up certain chemicals better than others. Just like with sight, some people just have better sight than others. And that's my theory behind why some people can pick up certain chemicals or odors that's coming off of you and say, oh my God, it smells so bad. Whereas for
Mhm.
others, they can't smell it at all because you're just born differently. Their genetic makeup, they just don't have those types of sensors or that type of I don't know, uh,
No, I
sense of smell
understand.
to
I
pick
get
up
it.
on these specific things that other people can. At least
Mhm.
that's my theory behind it.
Right. I was wondering. I don't know. It had me thinking the other day, because you know how I keep saying like everything is gut related, and I was like, how many of us wear glasses? 'Cause I wear glasses. You wear glasses. I was just wondering if that was a thing too, because they said the more like the dirtier your gut is, it affects your eyesight.
Oh, I never heard that.
I don't know. It was just something that I came across. I was wondering if that was a thing. But I think someone asked what city am I in? I'm outside of Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and that actually reminds me. Uh, sort of nearing the end here. So if anyone has any final questions for Nicole, this is the time to ask them. I want to
Oh,
also ask you if it would be okay if I can post your email if anybody wants to contact you.
yeah. If anyone wants to contact me, go ahead. I've been wanting to talk to people like for the longest, and you don't answer emails. So,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, I'm getting bad at that. I don't know. Sometimes I procrastinate. Sometimes I'm depressed, and I don't know when you're in a. I don't want to get into all that, but I will acknowledge that sometimes I don't be answering emails like I should.
But yeah,
or I
I
procrastinate.
wanted
Say,
to mention too. I wanted to mention too, like during COVID or whatever, like right before COVID happened, I went to Jamaica. Right, I went to Jamaica in of March. It was March 2020, and like even those people were reacting the same too. And it was actually kind of nice because where we were at the resort, and so there was hardly anybody there. So I basically had a whole beach to myself. So that was the best part about it. But when we went to the little restaurants, they came to my table like 35 times asking me if I wanted more water. Like, because like I
I know,
said, I have so apparently have a musty smell. So everyone is assuming that I need water or, something like that. And so they came to my table back to back to back to back to back, trying to fill up my cup of water.
yeah, that's so weird. So that several times within your life, people ask you if you need water. I never had a comment like that before. I've had comments of people saying I smell bad, but asking me for
Yeah.
water. I like,
But
are you
people,
like visibly sweat? That's another thing I want to ask you. Do you have hyperhidrosis?
no, I'm not visibly sweating.
Hmm. Okay. Hmm.
That's another thing too, because Junior, he said that he thinks that like it's probably coming from like the crotch or something like that, which I
Hmm.
get that, because like if it's gut related, then it could be, it could be coming from the butt or the crotch or whatever. But I mean, I don't know, like honestly, it's just I just want to. I want to try something, and whatever it is that I figure out, like I'm gonna let everybody know. I'm gonna let you know. That way, you can have me on again, and I can tell everybody what I did. Or I don't. I can't stand going through this. I don't want anyone else going through it. So if anyone wants to email me, my email address is down there, and I will answer your emails. Maybe if I do figure out something, I don't know. Maybe I could start a YouTube channel and let everyone know what I did. I don't know. We'll figure it out when that gets there.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I definitely think it will like probiotics helps to a degree, and
Mhm.
for some people it
I
does
think
help a
another.
lot.
Oh, that was one. Sorry, I'm sorry I cut you off, but that was another thing too. A lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people, some of the comments I was reading, they're like, "Oh well, I changed my diet, but that didn't work." Like Junior, he made the comment last week. He was like, "Well, if I change my diet and you know it doesn't work, then just whatever. Like I'm not even gonna do it anymore. He's just gonna eat what he wants." Okay, well, I also read that for every year that you've had the body odor, you have to like if I've had this odor for like 15 years, it's gonna take me 15 months to even see a result. I don't know. I've read that several times, so it's like you can't expect the change overnight, right? Because we didn't get like this overnight. It took
Right.
years, right? So we feel like, oh well, I've been patient long enough. Like I don't know what else to do. It's like at that point we panic. It's like I don't want to have to wait any longer to find results. So, but I mean, I feel like that's what's gonna happen. We have to take the time, try to figure something out and see if it works.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's not gonna happen overnight. I do think it takes some time for because I also know that um, the bacteria within your gut changes based on the foods that you eat. Um, so if you eat a large amounts of meat and then you stop doing that within the course of 30 days, your bacteria is going to change as well because the
Yeah,
bacteria in itself is supposed to break down whatever foods you're consuming. So if you're consuming major amounts of meat or just maybe major amounts of vegetables or whatever the case, that's eventually going to change your microbiota over a course of time. Especially if you start consistently consuming this stuff for long periods of time. So I don't know about the 15-year, 15-month theory, but I do think it will take. It's not gonna change your whole
I heard about the
microbiome in less
soap.
than
Someone
2 weeks.
someone said to mention the soap that Junior mentioned last week. I was chatting with you guys when Junior was on. So yeah, I got the soap. It's in my cart on Amazon. I don't think the soap will actually be the solve all problems, but I would buy it to see if it would lessen my reactions. Like I do want to try the soap.
Uh, Another question is anyone here from the UK? Um, I don't know. I wouldn't know anything about that. I don't think there's any. Is there any other questions?
I think someone
Hmm.
asked you if you were in gut war.
Yeah, yeah. Of course I am. If I wouldn't be able to actually send the link if I wasn't in it. Um, let's see. Yeah,
Someone
I
said
don't
that
really have.
they went to the doctor and theirs was a fistula. Fistula. I don't know how to. I guess that's how you say it. I was wondering that too. If that was an issue that anyone had. Like, is in like why you smell like feces or something? You know, some people do smell like feces, and it could be that they have a fistula.
Yeah. Um. Well, I didn't look for anal fistulas, but I did go to some doctor that was supposed to check if I had like what's that thing? Hemorrhoids. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I had to do some type of test to
Did what
determine if
the
I
how'd
had
that
any.
go?
I didn't have any. I was like, I mean, usually that has to do with like straining and
Well,
constipation, stuff
yeah,
like.
but I mean, it could still. I don't know.
No,
So
I
someone asked, what was the question? How did the doctors react? When I went to the doctor, I I forgot. I made an appointment to a gastroenterologist because one of the first comments I ever heard was someone say, "Oh, I've never smelled anyone who smelled like actual poop." Right? So I went to a gastroenterologist and he said he didn't smell anything. But guess what he said? "Oh, you need to drink more water." That's what he said to me. And I was like, "How do you know?" He's like, "You just do." Because I
hmm,
thought he would have been like, "Oh, well, because the scans show that how you're constipated or something." No, he was just like, "You just do." Like, what kind of medical advice is that? And then so I went to another doctor. I can't remember. I think it was. I just went and I was like, "Bruh, they say I stink." And then she was talking to me, but then she gets up. She just in the middle of me talking to her, she gets up, and when she opens the door, I see her walking to the front desk, and she's walking and kind of looking back at me, and then she's going back, and she was going to talk about me to the person up there. Like, I'm coming to you with an issue because
right.
I'm with hopes that you could help me with whatever's going on, but then she was clearly about to talk about me, so I'm just like, in my mind I'm panicking, so then I'm just getting more anxious, and then I don't know, I could have run up out of there if I wanted, but like doctors, that they're not helpful.
Yeah, yeah. Doctors don't help. Well, I don't. Well, I've heard a few stories where some doctors were interested enough to try to do some things, um, but many of the doctors I've met, unless they're specialists, don't really do anything. Um, but another question I do see is, what does she use now?
Right now, I haven't done anything special other than the kombucha that I started yesterday. And Shamir asked me if I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right or not, but it said, what did she say? She said, "Do I see any better reactions at any time?" And I did drink. I bought a 48 ounce of kombucha yesterday. I drank half at night, and I drank the other half this morning. And when I went out today, because like I said, I was doing Instacart for a couple of hours, and I didn't really get a lot of reactions. Because some people, like, when you're in the store, they like stop next to you, turn around, like sniffing in the air, like, what's that smell? But like, I didn't really notice any of that today. And like, I can smell an odor, but I can't pinpoint exactly what it is. But I didn't smell it today. Like, it wasn't um amplified. It was more, more of a minimal scent. So I feel like that if I keep drinking the kombucha, along with changing my diet, I'm gonna figure it out. I think that's a start. How long have I been on kombucha? I literally just started yesterday. What soap do I use? I use honestly, I'm always changing my soap. Like I'll use Dove, or I use one of those soaps that aren't really a soap. I forget what it's called. It's like a soap-free soap.
Oh, like soap gel or soap
Like what's it called?
shower gel?
Like Cetaphil. I forget what it is. I forget the name. Oh yeah, CeraVe. CeraVe. I use different things because, like I said, like I could never, you know, figure out what it is. So I just like, well, let me try everything. Like even with deodorants, like I was trying Lume. I think that's what it's called, Lume or whatever. I was trying that. I was trying no deodorant at all because someone was like, well, if you don't wear deodorant and let it like detox from your body, then that helps because that I don't know. I'm telling you, I was trying everything. I didn't care. I was just trying to find a solution. So like I understood what they were saying though, because deodorant and stuff, we're not meant to wear deodorant, right? So that's clogging our pores. And I was going down
Mm.
that rabbit hole, and I don't know. So yeah, I was just all over the place. I did buy some store bought kombucha. It's the oh, someone said asked about the kombucha. I just bought the store bought kind. I can't
I don't
remember the
know if there's
brand.
any kombucha that's
That's strong
specific.
enough.
What happened?
Were you gonna say you don't know if there's any kombucha that's strong enough?
Oh, I was gonna say I don't think there's any specific brand of kombucha that's designed specifically to get rid of some this
No,
weird
no, no, no.
odor. So I
It's
don't
not
know,
designed for that. I mean, it's but the
like, because he's
benefits.
asking the brand like which one is more
Oh,
effective,
okay. Oh,
you
okay.
know, and I
I
don't
didn't see
know
that
what
part.
that would be. Um,
But yeah, I guess if you could make your own kombucha, that would definitely be best. But I haven't done the research, so that's why I'm buying store bought right now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like Salvador, like you mentioned that you saw a video of Salvador. He does have like a step by step guide on how he made his own kombucha and how
Mhm.
long he put the kombucha in. You could also buy scobies on. I mean, I made these like videos about this, but who cares? But you could buy scobies like on Amazon. Scoby is like this bacterial jelly like substance that will feed on, because kombucha in itself is just tea. It's fermented tea.
Right.
So when you put the fermented tea and have all the sugar, the SCOBY uh, will feed on the sugar and then produce these healthy bacteria that
Mhm.
will be good for you. Yeah, I did that for like a whole year within from 2019 to 2020, and
I use the Synergy raw kombucha. I drink the trilogy one.
mhm.
Sorry, I wanted to throw that in there because someone was asking.
I really talls keep asking you about how long have you been Instacarting.
Oh, um, I okay. So November 2022, I was pregnant, and so I wasn't. I left work, right. So from November 2022 up until now, like I have a regular job, but I still do Instacart, Walmart Spark, DoorDash, and I use Roadie.
And I guess his name is Izzy. His name is, she asks, he or she, I don't know. What is your main odor every day?
Musty. That's what I hear. I don't know. People say I'm musty. And then this one guy, if you really want to know how you smell, like sit in where if you go to work, like I don't know if you guys work, sitting in your break room with some headphones on and don't play any music. That's how I learned what people were saying. Cause like that's how I really learned. Like
Or
I knew
act
people
like you
said I
fall
knew people,
asleep.
huh?
Act like you're asleep.
Well, yeah, but I'd be sitting in there with my headphones on and no music playing at all. Like I knew
Right.
people were saying that I smelled, but I didn't know like what I smelled like. what did I smell like? Fish? Did I smell like, pee or something? But this dude was just like, you need to wash your butt. Like, but he thought I had my, headphones on playing music or something. And I mean, someone said, do your neighbors react? I don't know, cause I duck and dodge everybody. So I think
Mm,
they do kind of react though, cause like when people look at you weird, that's a
yeah,
reaction. Like they don't have to say anything. You just all in their face.
yeah, that's true. But it's sort of sometimes it's better to determine if you smell bad based on if you hear comments or at least people. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to ask you. Is there visible reactions in terms of people pinching or rubbing their nose or
Yeah.
coughing or?
I
Mm.
remember when I was at Amazon, like I stopped going in the break room or whatever, so I would sit out by my locker, and I was sitting out there minding my business, and I wasn't making any noise. And the girl, she was coming to her locker, and she walked around the corner at me, like, and looked at me because I could smell her sniffing, right? And I hear that all the time. Like, so people will walk past me sniffing, or they'll spray like their perfume, their body spray or something, perfume. Like they'll spray it towards me. Those are the kind of reactions I get. The rubbing of the nose. What's that smell? Or, you know, just like that. And someone said, "Is it worse on my period?" I feel like it. I do get reactions then too, but even if I am on my period, then they'll still say it's like a sweaty smell. It's not like a period smell. I don't know. Guys probably don't understand that, but yeah.
I forgot to ask you this too. Um, so the only thing that you've been trying at this moment is kombucha. You haven't really done anything diet wise.
Um. Okay, so I did, like, diet wise. Not so much, but like I said, I don't eat. I eat like maybe once a day. And then I did a water fast for like 3 days. I've done that off and on a couple times for 3 days. I didn't really notice. I didn't really notice anything, but at the same time, I feel like that when you fast, it's about elimination. Like, it's about like getting the waste out. So even if you fast and you're not eating or whatever, you're just drinking water, you have to be eliminating the waste. So that's another reason why people are like, oh, well, I was drinking chlorophyll. I drink like two whole bottles and I still don't smell any different. Well, it's because the chlorophyll is just sitting on top of the waste that's in your body. We have to clean ourselves out. And I remember I was
But
doing, huh?
I know you, but what do you do? You eventually have to eat things. So what do you typically eat?
Okay, so I typically do not eat well. Um, like, I'll go through spurts. Like, sometimes I did juicing. I did that for a while, but typically every day I just whatever I can eat, really. I mean, I don't have anything specific right now because, like I said, I really wanted to wait to this interview so that I could get it out there when I wanted to, start eating healthy, and, so that I can prove that I think I'm right in this. That once we start clearing out our bodies, I can, focus on that. But like I said, I eat like a standard American diet.
Okay.
But I know what I should be doing. I just haven't done it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it might be very difficult to do it. I mean, I don't know how much you get paid from the warehouse job, but if you're doing this and also have a secondary job, I'm assuming you're not getting
No,
paid that.
I don't have a second job anymore, but I mean, I basically like do DoorDash and stuff for extra money. Just because, like, like I said, I want to be able to. Okay, my main goal is to be able to do colonics. I don't know if you know what colonics are.
Yeah.
It's just like, getting enemas or whatever. But my brother did that. Oh, that was another thing I forgot to tell you. I left that out. My brother, I think he used to have a body odor, right?
Okay.
And he did colonics, but he only did it one time. But he doesn't smell anymore. And I'm trying to figure out like what he did, cuz I don't remember anything this was back when, we both lived with my mom. So I would see him, but I don't remember him doing anything that like changed. So I don't know like if it was diet or whatever, but he doesn't smell anymore. But I don't know what he did.
And was it just a regular musty odor?
No, it was more of a like a poop smell to me.
Shit,
Like,
I guess I mean, actually, I think you should go to your brother if that was the case.
but I asked him, because like he's big, like he's like overweight and stuff. So like, how did
Hmm.
he get rid of whatever? He's not like he changed his diet or exercised or anything like that, and he only did one colonic. So I mean, like, I don't know, but also with him too, he's dealt with like constipation too, so I can understand, the feces smell odor coming from him, but I've had that reaction once. One time, no, two times someone said that I smell like poop, but I mean, that's not what people typically say, so that's not what I focused on.
Mm, okay,
So
there's a
like I
lot more
said, it's
comments
it, it's
here.
it's a
Really tall asks, were your reactions strong during pregnancy?
no, I didn't notice anything during pregnancy. Actually, I thought, you know what, too, I was eating better when I was pregnant. This time around, I was eating better. So maybe that's why I didn't see any reactions. I don't know. I didn't notice any the first time when I was pregnant because I didn't have any comments about my odor until after my first son was born. So during the pregnancy, if anyone said anything, I wouldn't have even known.
Hmm. Um. Okay. Well, I guess you already answered the question from Izzy. Do you have any family members who also smell? Nicole. Um.
The juice flask, I was feeling that.
Maybe this.
Um, yeah, I did see one story where this lady, she did a juice fast and supposedly it got rid of her body odor.
Yeah. Brian J asks. Oh, well, he didn't ask anything. He just made a comment. All right. Well, I do want to ask you this. Let's say that there's someone who listened to your story and they identify exactly what you're going through.
Hmm.
Is there any like final thoughts would you that you would like to tell the person or words of encouragement?
Just keep going. Like, if you want to figure out what's going on with you, just, I don't know. Like, all I'm doing is finding you guys. I'm finding you guys. Anybody who wants to reach out to me, you can. Um, just keep going. Like, we're gonna find a solution. So, I mean, we can all do it together.
Yeah.
Someone said don't give up. Nah, I'm not that. I'm too persistent. Like, I have to know how to find a solution. Like, cause if I give up, I'm giving up on other people who suffer like me. So,
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, at least for me, I'm trying to find a diagnosis.
mhm,
I do believe that a percentage of these people have TMAU, but I think there's something else that might be somewhat similar, and diet does help. So I definitely would encourage, even though you're going into kombucha, which yeah, if it's working, yeah, keep looking into that. But at
mhm,
least from my experience, diet also helps, and I think is one of the major things that will at least noticeably reduce it? Will it
yeah,
significantly reduce it to the point that you'll go back to a normal life? Maybe for some people, I don't know for all, but
mhm,
I do think it will be a noticeable difference.
yeah.
Um, the last question, or maybe this is not the last question, but here's another question. Have you ever heard of fecal microbiota transplant?
Is that where I think I have heard of that. Like, don't they take your poop out of your intestine or something?
Mhm. Yeah, they take the poop of healthy colons and insert it to another person who might be suffering from like IBS symptoms, and
I get
that
that, but
typically,
it's not your poop that's sick though. It's your intestines that. So I feel like you'd have to
well,
heal your intestines before.
right within like the feces, there is going to be the healthy bacteria still intact. So once they insert it into the other person who didn't have a really good digestive issues, uh, they well their
So
digestive issues recover or get treated. Matter of fact, there's a few stories I've heard who are of people who have had this condition, and they said that they had the fecal microbiota transplant and they
mhm.
got success. So I haven't tried it. That's probably going to be the last option I ever try because I
Right.
don't want to
Southside
poop on.
Jeff, I agree with you. Diet is the solution, but I remember I commented on one of your videos that people only tend to, gravitate toward the lifestyle they want to keep. Like, if I have to change my diet and if I have to do this and do that, I'm willing to do it. Some people aren't. Like Junior said the other day, he was like, if I'm changing my diet and I still smell, then but you got to do more than that. I mean, if you're gonna change your diet, you still have to eliminate the waste that you've already accumulated. Like I'm 37, right? So look how long like waste has built up in my body, so I have to not only change my diet, but I also have to eliminate the waste that's already there. Look at people. I don't know if you've ever followed anyone who does juice fast or water fast, but if they've done a water fast for like 30, 30, 60 days, they're still eliminating, um they don't have watery stool. Like when they have bowel movements, it's still hard. Not hard, it's still like firm, solid, or whatever. It's because that's just how much waste we have in our body. So it's going to take time. That's what I was saying about the 15 years. If you have like 15 years of this odor, then it's going to take you 15 months to get rid of it. Like that's what I mean by that. Because like I said, changing your diet or doing a water fast, and like you have to keep at it. But when you're doing water fast, if you're gonna juice, if you're juicing, like you have to keep it that too. But you also have to be eliminating the waste. You can't just put green juice or water on top of, you know, everything that's already built up in your body and just leave it there. Yes, you're having bowel movements, but we don't poop properly as it is. We grew up on a. Hello, can you hear
Hello.
me? Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know if you could hear me because my screen went blank, but yeah, so it's a whole process. It's like you can't skip steps.
Right. I mean, when you keep talking about fasting, I was constantly trying to find this article about fasting because I at least made a couple of videos about it, and did
Mhm.
say there was some type of studies that suggested that if you fast at least 48 to 72 hours, your
Mhm.
microbiome resets.
Yes,
Um,
I've seen
so
that.
so yeah, you can do that. There is some studies, some information to
It's
show that.
resetting, but I mean, how much are you actually gonna? How many bowel movements are you actually gonna have in those 3 days of you water fasting? Because you're not taking in any fiber, right? So if you fast for 3 days, you're probably not gonna poop a lot within those three
Right.
days. But the whole point is you want to eliminate as much as you can, because I feel like that's another thing too. And another thing I just came across today was build up of heavy metals in your body, and people
Hmm.
don't talk about that. So that's another thing. Like parasites. Like I don't know if you ever got gone down that rabbit hole of parasites,
Yeah, a
candida.
lot of
Like
people believe
it's a whole
parasites.
thing. So it's just like all that
Oh
stuff
yeah,
we need
heavy
to be
metals
flushing
too.
out of our bodies. You know, whether you believe it or not, like look into it because it's a whole thing. And then someone, Southside Jeff, he was talking about antibiotics, and yeah, that room. I had been on antibiotics from like birth. I was born 3 months early, right? So I was on the antibiotics forever, and I didn't know until like I got older that that was actually destroying my gut, and that's probably why I have gut issues now. But yeah, if you can avoid it, yeah, don't take antibiotics at all.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people believe in possibly believe parasites, heavy metals.
Yeah,
There's
but
some
there's I
other
don't I don't
chemicals
think
that
there's
are
everyone thinks, oh well, we live in the U.S., we don't have parasites. We literally have parasites, as children, like we were getting. I don't know if my mom did to me, but I know like a lot of people got parasite cleanses when they were little. But we stopped doing that. Why? I feel like if we kept doing that, then we probably wouldn't be in the situation that we are.
Is he asking you if you have bad breath?
No, I don't think so. Like, I mean, that's never been an issue for me.
Okay. I think that's I think that's the last one. Well, I thank you, Nicole, for stopping by, telling your story.
Oh no,
I
you're
think.
welcome. Telling our story, we all.
Whoa, whoa, she left. Well, I was going to end the the broadcast anyways. I thank everybody else from for chatting and asking questions. If you want to reach her, it is I forgot, but I'm gonna post it in the link. I will add her back. I was just saying like the final, I guess, final goodbyes.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
So
because
yeah, anybody who wants to email me, go ahead.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and this is Friday night TMAU PATM body odor interview number 43, and we're out of here. See
Okay,
you
bye
guys
guys.
later. And I'm going to end the stream now.